as a kid, everyone told me not to listen to heavy metal because it's the devil's music. And do you know what that did? It made me want to listen to heavy metal just because I knew that it can't be harmful. I knew that this is just some moral panic that people are pushing around. And now it's literally the same with Parler. Everyone is very concerned, oh, so concerned that this application, which has pretty much the same terms of service like Twitter did 4 years ago, happens to exist on the internet. Literally every single complaint that I have heard leveled against Parler can even be applied against Twitter today. It's like, oh, Parler has white nationalists. Okay, Richard Spencer is on Twitter. It's getting rid of a blue checkmark. There are others if you want names. I mean, there's even terrorists on Twitter that are having accounts. There doesn't seem a problem with that. And not to mention, like, there's actual communists on Twitter. Like, the people with hammer and sickle, some of them even probably work at Twitter itself. And we're not going to talk about that. Alright, what else? There's fake news on Parler. Have you been to Twitter? Have you looked what they're posting there? They even had like Chinese officials saying that the US military went and planted COVID into China to make it look like the outbreak happened from them and it's a US ploy. They have that shit. Well, I guess they're not banning publications like the New York Post, so clearly they must be the devil. You know, in nowadays, if you have a social media website and you're not banning journalists, you're doing it wrong. I mean, you need to decide for the people what they can see, because clearly grown-ass adults cannot tell fake information from real information anymore. You know, people are like children. They need a chaperone. They need mommy and daddy at big tech to tell them what is fake and what is real. How have people managed to go around their lives up until 2020 is beyond me. How did people manage to watch television without telling what a fake news is and what a real news is? Oh my god, the moral panic, right? So no, like everyone hates Parler now because it's growing, and you know, there's like this massive moral panic as if there's going to be jackboots on the streets because there's a website on the internet, which I will repeat myself, literally has the same terms of service like Twitter did in 2016. And now apparently parental advocacy groups warns that Parler is quote-unquote dangerous for minors. Well, where the hell were you when Twitter was along? Do you know that Twitter allowed lolly porn not until a couple of months ago? Do you know why it was banned? I will tell you why it was banned. Because once Tumblr went down, once Tumblr went belly up, all of these artists drawing all very interesting and particular fetishes moved over to the Twitter. And they were starting to pump the garbage over there until you had the blue checkmark seeing it and freaking out. And they used their connections with the team Trust and Safety Council to finally ban that shit. But they still have porn on Twitter, right? So I guess that's fine for minors. No, like it's perfectly fine for just not Parler, which funny enough bans porn. I like, you know, you need to just pretend you don't see half of the story in order to believe this. But anyway, so the group Parents Together Action issued public warning Friday about the alternative social media app Parler. Why is it an alternative social media app anyway? Like, did God create the current social medias at Silicon Valley? It's like they're the official ones, that they're the state legislated ones that people are allowed to go? Is this how it works? Because I'm really baffled that. Why is Parler alternative? Why is it not the new growing, the upcoming, the new rising star of social media? Like, I'm like noticing the bias just by reading the article. And I'm surprised that other people don't notice it as well. But apparently it's got content that's dangerous for minors. Do minors even go on Parler, by the way? Like, is this even a thing? I don't even think minors go on Twitter. I mean, I know a couple of them that go on Facebook and they create like all sorts of groups and talk to each other, and that's cool, you know? But at the end of the day, like, do they congregate on Parler, and what is the danger? I mean, if it was up to me, the internet as itself is dangerous for minors. Like, I wouldn't let a kid unsupervised on the internet until they get at least 14. Just make sure you know what that kid is browsing if you're the parent. But yeah, okay, no, Parler is bad. Why is it bad? Because it's a dangerous combination of extreme user base and almost non-existent moderation of content. Oh my God, you would freak out if you'd visit IRC. So what? Are you going to think like the extremist content on Parler is going to be more overwhelming than the extremist content that they learn in some of the woke schools nowadays? Where it's all about socialism and being, like, do you know what kids in the UK need to learn? Like, there was this kid in Scotland, I believe, who had the audacity, the hubris to say that there are only two genders. And he got expelled over this. It was a massive scandal in the press. I guess he got that thing from Parler, didn't he? He probably went to Parler and heard someone say that there's only two genders, and he took that shit at school. Yeah. And nowadays, I'm more concerned about a kid going full commie and trying to tell that he wants to take down the system than I am about a kid becoming a far-right extremist and putting jackboots in the streets. You're going to see an army of woke 7-year-olds patrolling the streets because they went to Parler and they got radicalized, eh? Oh my God, you know what would actually radicalize kids? I'll tell you what. Did you actually read the press where they're literally saying that if you are at the dinner table, like a Thanksgiving dinner, and one of the people there is like J.K. Rowling's, and they say that men can't have uteruses, you know what you need to do? You need to do assault. You need to throw that Thanksgiving that the mother worked hard for, you need to throw it in the face of some of the guests. Ruin the dinner for everyone because someone has different political leanings than you. Yeah, that's what the media teaches kids. Oh, there is no concern about that there. Like, you're not going to see parents together action being concerned about what the media is doing. Encouraging people to do assault. Just because someone disagrees with them. Just because someone has the J.K. Rowling syndrome. Yeah, it is clearly just out of pure concern. It's completely unbiased. All right. So the organization urged parents to check their children's devices to ensure they have not installed Parler. This is really funny. It's not to ensure about what they're talking on Parler or to make sure that, in fact, they constantly check every single day to see what their kids are doing on the internet. No. Just don't install it. Just don't have it installed because it's bad. It's bad juju. It has conservatives there. Oh my fucking God. Like that. I can't believe the hubris on these people. Like the level of censorship and authoritarianism they're doing is astonishing. And like the only reason they're doing it like this is because they're not in power. Like if any of these people would ever, heaven forbid, manage to get a position in the government, they would be tyrannical. They would literally be tyrannical. This is just what they can do. This is like the level of their power. This is what they're doing. To manipulate, to use propaganda against things they don't like. Honestly, the reason I'm defending Parler is more than the fact that I'm seeing it unjustly being attacked. They're not going after Gab anymore. Because Gab isn't growing since Andrew Torba found religion and decided that pornography is from Satan himself. Yeah, all of a sudden a lot of people are like, well, you have the Twitter, which is a moral company, stuffing their morality down other people's throats. How is Gab really different? It's just like a different branch of morality, but at the end of the day, they're still a corporation that should shut the fuck up, brand, and just put your product out there and just keep quiet. No one cares about what morality a company has. No one cares about, like, if you're a right-wing corporation, good, but shut the fuck up and let people talk on your platform. You want to ban porn? That's fine. But don't start a sermon about why it's bad. Don't start preaching to people like you're the new pope. Andrew Torba. Anyway, right, so moving back to this. The app does, however, require users to be at least 13 years old in order to have express permission. Okay, so let me get this straight. If you're 14 years old, you can be like Desmond is Amazing, who performs drag in bars, in adult clubs, right? Like, that's fine. That is perfectly fine. But heaven forbid if you install Parler. Like, that's a little step too far. You put society at risk. You scratch at that gentle moral fiber that the society has in order to keep everything together. I guess, like, can they play The Last of Us and see that beautiful romance scene that Neil Druckmann has planned for people? Huh? Like, can you do that if you're 14? I don't know. I thought PlayStation is a family-friendly content. You can probably go to Twitch as well and give some bits to some lady streamers, but you can't install Parler. That's a step too far. I fucking got it. And by the way, like, again, as if this was a problem. As if this was like some large-scale issues. Because again, like, Parler does tell you you're not allowed to register if you're under 13, right? It's not like there's a massive child demographic going there. The reason they're doing this is in order to, again, just another article that other people can use as citations. Look, like even this group that cares about children are concerned. Man. Experts, like this, like who are they? Who are experts? Have raised concern over the potential disinformation and spread of conspiracy theories to flourish due to Parler's hands-off approach. Yeah, in real life, these things also get spreaded. I mean, when you go to school, do you know what happens at school? People spread conspiracy theories. I remember someone told me that if you go in Diablo 1, the first game, and you click on a cow, a lot of times you're going to get to a secret level. I clicked that cow like a motherfucker. There was no secret level. It was a conspiracy that they pushed onto me. If only I had these concerned activists in order to regulate the free flow of conversation that went on in my class. Maybe one day they can also get the phone company to regulate and tell you that, oh, we have decided to stop your line. You're not going to allow to call people anymore because you were talking conspiracy theories. We suspended your number. Yeah. You know what I think? This is serious stuff. I think the postal office need to start reading people's mails. Yeah, I mean, what if you send an envelope to someone and inside the envelope, do you know what it can be? A conspiracy theory. Isn't that harmful? I mean, very harmful. They should make sure that everyone has their mail checked. So yeah, like bug the telephones. Make sure that you listen to people's conversations so they don't spread conspiracies. Because apparently, like this is the worst horror of 2020. It's pushing a conspiracy. Like talking about Bigfoot is going to bring jackboots in the streets. It's going to destroy democracy as we know it, right? So to recap, bug the telephones, check everyone's mail, force people to have the cell phone turned on all the time so a prestigious corporation can listen to what people talk on the street so that they don't go to a pub and, heaven forbid, spread a conspiracy theory or even worse, spread misinformation. And only then, only when everyone is checked and listened to and moderated can we finally live in a free society. And then it will all be worth it. You'll have freedom. Yeah. And most importantly, make sure your kids don't go on Parler because they might become an anarcho-capitalist instead of an anarcho-communist. It sounds the same, so, kids can be confused. They might think about picking the black and yellow flag instead of the black and red one. One is for polite society, the other is for savages. Yeah, the anarcho-capitalist. I mean, that is beyond capital. Like, that is bad. That is really bad. Only if big corporations can stop people from becoming anarcho-capitalists. And then that would create a free society. Let me know what you think. I'll see you guys in the comment section.